This video on Peatland Ecosystem Services is brought to you by the College of Agriculture, Food and Rural Enterprise. The uplands of Northern Ireland have large areas of peatland habitat. Peat has been formed over the past 10,000 years by the slow accumulation of plant material prevented from breakdown by waterlogged conditions and a high sphagnum moss cover. The surface vegetation of peatland consists of a mix of mosses, grasses, sedges and shrubs such as heathers. At CAFRE, we aim to have the water table depth at 10 centimetres below the ground surface for 90% of the year. Dip wells are used to measure how high the water table is below the surface. Over the past 200 years, and in particular since 1970, we have installed open drain networks to improve grazing and to allow the land to carry more livestock. The drains are very effective in lowering the water table just enough to dry out the surface 30 centimetres. This has led to slow changes in the habitat, with more heather and grasses growing, but global changes in the climate are now exaggerating the impacts of our peatland drains. The dry matter of peat is over 50% carbon. When the water table is lowered by drainage, oxygen returns to the upper layer and microbial breakdown releases carbon to the atmosphere and into the drainage waters. Approximately 10% of Northern Ireland's greenhouse gas emissions are estimated to be from drained and modified peatland. Most of the drinking water in the British Isles is collected in peatland catchments. The brown colour of the water is dissolved organic carbon. This has to be removed before the water can be treated for drinking water. CAFRE catchments have shown an expensive treatment cost difference per hectare of water catchment between a site with few drains and an intensively drained site. There are many ecosystem services for the community of Northern Ireland that peatland with a high water table can provide, such as carbon storage, carbon sequestration, flood alleviation, water quality, biodiversity, wildfire prevention, as well as some food production. Slower release downhill of upland rainwater by amending the drainage systems can provide the optimum quantity of ecosystem services. A range of methods have been demonstrated at the CAFRE Hill Farm, such as peat dams, the reprofiling of deep drains into shallow versions, wave damming and zippering. Peat hags or turf banks have been reprofiled to leave no bare peat. Using these methods, CAFRE have been able to raise the water table from 30 to 40 centimetres below the surface in the summer to 10 to 15 centimetres. It is important to maintain the habitat with grazing livestock in the summer so that vegetation does not become excessive over the understory of sphagnum. So we can maximise carbon sequestration as an active sphagnum bog, prevent parasite build-up in wild birds, and achieve all the other ecosystem services.